Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are cracking open the engine room of Salesforce AI. We're going to pull back the curtain on the math that powers the intelligence inside your CRM and see how it turns, just a sea of data into actual smart decisions.
Think about it. Every single number in your pipeline is telling a story, right? But who really has the time to read it all? So let's explore how Salesforce Revenue Intelligence agents can act as a co-pilot, translating that complex stream of numbers into a clear, actionable story for your entire sales team. So how does this thing actually work? Well, the intelligence behind these agents is really built on three core mathematical ideas. We're going to break down each one, and we'll start at the most fundamental level, a single deal. Okay, let's dive into the most basic sales question there is, the one that keeps sales managers up at night. Is this specific deal my team is working on actually going to close? Okay, I know, this looks super intimidating, but this formula, it's called logistic regression, is the real workhorse behind the scenes. Just think of it like a set of scales. The AI uses it to weigh dozens of different variables, things like deal size, what stage it's in, past emails, to calculate P, which is simply the probability that a deal will be won. But here is the most important part, the real key takeaway. You do not need to be a data scientist to use this. Nope. The AI's whole job is to translate all of that complicated math into a simple, powerful idea that a sales rep can understand in a split second. And here it is. This is the result. It boils down all those variables into one single clear number, a deal health score for every opportunity in your pipeline. An 85%? Hey, things are looking pretty good. A 30%? Yeah, you've probably got some trouble brewing. And you've got to know, this score is not static. Not at all. It's a living, breathing number that updates in real time. So if a deal gets stuck in one stage for way too long, that score drops. If the AI detects some really negative words in an email, the score drops. Or what if a competitor gets mentioned on a call? The AI hears that in the transcript and adjusts the probability, just like that. This is where the magic really happens. You can see it on a visual chart like this. The AI can flag a huge high-value deal, that big bubble, that has a really low probability of closing. The agent sees this as a mathematical impossibility and basically throws up a red flag, telling you exactly where you need to focus your attention right now. Okay, so let's zoom out. We're going to move from the micro to the macro level and see how all this builds from predicting just one deal to forecasting your entire quarter. It's like going from looking at one tree to seeing the whole forest. Now to answer the big one. The question every single sales leader lives and dies by, the agent shifts its whole approach. It uses something called time series analysis. It's basically a fancy way of saying it looks at all your past sales data over time to understand trends, patterns, and even seasonality. Like whether you always have a slow August or a crazy busy fourth quarter. And all this progress gets visualized in what's called a waterfall chart. It's such a simple but powerful way to see the story of your quarter. It just starts with your initial forecast, and then it tracks every single addition and subtraction that gets you to where you are right now. But the agent's real job here, it's to be a watchdog. It is constantly monitoring the flow of your pipeline. And if it sees that the value of deals slipping out of the quarter is greater than the value of new deals coming in, bam, it triggers an alert. It's basically an early warning system for your revenue target. All right, let's shift gears now from the numbers to the people, because we all know deals aren't just about math, right? They're about human connection. Let's take a look at how the AI actually maps the relationships that are so critical to winning. Okay, this is so cool. The agent uses a machine learning concept called vector embeddings. The best way to think of it is like a GPS for your professional network. It turns every single contact in your CRM, with their job title, their company history, all their connections, into a specific point on a map, which lets it see these hidden relationships you'd never find otherwise. So how does it help you find the right person to talk to? Well, on that big GPS map, it looks for contacts at your new prospect who are mathematically close to the champions from your past wins. A short distance means they probably have similar roles or backgrounds, making them a super high-value target for your team to reach out to. And all of this relationship data gets pulled together into an engagement heat map. It shows you just at a glance how much your team is interacting with every key stakeholder. The darker the cell, the higher the engagement. Lighter cells, that's a blind spot. And here's the payoff. The agent can flag these huge human risks. I mean, look at this. It can warn you when your team is having tons of calls and meetings with the technical folks, but has had zero contact with the actual economic buyer. That is a classic deal killer, and the AI spots it instantly.
Okay, so we've seen that the charts and scores can show us what is happening. But the final layer, and honestly, maybe the most powerful part of this whole thing, is about explaining why it's happening.
It does this using a really clever process called Retrieval Augmented Generation, or RAG. It's basically a three-step process. First, it acts like a superpowered search engine, digging through all your messy, unstructured text, your call notes, your emails, for the right puzzle pieces. Then, it retrieves that specific info. And finally, it hands all that context over to a large language model to put together a clear, human-like explanation. And this is what you get. Instead of just a notification that a deal slipped, you get a direct answer with all the context. It connects a data point, a $2 million drop, to the real-world event that actually caused it, and it pulls the reason right from your own team's meeting notes. So, when you put it all together, you can really see how these layers work together. You've got the predictive scoring for deals, the time series for the forecast, the relationship maps for the people, and then that agentic logic, the RAG, to explain the why. It's a whole system that turns all that raw data into a clear action plan.
So by pulling back the curtain on the math, we can see this technology not as some kind of mysterious black box, but as a really powerful tool for clarity and for focus. And the question it really leads us with is this. If an AI can tell you why you're falling behind, just imagine how much faster you could get ahead. Thanks for watching.